Hi, Reshma.
Hi, P.
Nice to see you. Reshma, Prachi is also joining.
Ah,
Okay, I have resent the link to her then. Okay. Reshma, are you there?
yes, Vicky, I'm here.
Okay, Reshma, I think Prachi is checking something. Can you just give her an answer on the WhatsApp? She just asked a question, so I thought you could answer better. Hi, Prachi. Good to see you. Hi, Dr. Srivastav. You're on mute, I think. Dr. Srivastav, you're on mute.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi,
Hello,
how are you?
Dr. Prachi. Hello, I am good.
Yeah, this is Picky. I'm from the institute.
Yes,
Reshma's
yes, I got
colleague.
the. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. Hi, Vinakshi. You're on mute.
So sorry. Hi.
No, all good. And is that Meenakshi we are speaking with or Dia?
Oh, is it showing Dia?
Yeah, that's okay. I like the name.
Let me just rename it. Actually, she had her class on this laptop, so that's why.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, all good.
Hi, Reshma.
Hello.
Hi, Dr. Paul. I think she's still connecting.
Yeah.
You're on mute. Um, you're on mute, Dr. Paul.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Hello everyone.
Hi.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Ma'am.
So, Reshma, is everyone here, or we should wait for a while to begin with?
I think we can wait for a while because I can see only 14 participants. Maybe 5 minutes more. We have given
Yeah,
5
we
minutes.
still have 5 more minutes to go. You're right.
Okay, all right. So we have our SRSF scholars as well as faculty who were awarded Shastri Mobility Program, right? Uh,
Yes, mobility program also. Yeah.
how's it going with everyone? I'm sure things are almost same every part of work right now, but is there any changes in terms of your work or the institutional arrangements that you are into, like if the institutions have opened or you have access to your if you have access to your labs or department, or is it still that you all of you are operating from respective homes? Because I remember, I know that universities are opening up in the semester for the fall semester, and they are gearing up in terms of preparing their campuses, and especially for the international students and all. So, but for Indian institutions, as per my information goes, we will still be having online, teaching, learning happening, and institutions have no plans to open in the incoming months. So, is it the same, or you have any other developments at your place? I would like to hear more from your side.
Sure. Yeah, I'm speaking from IIT. So we are going fully online this semester. A lot of stress preparing things. We are either using one of the platforms for the online lectures and stuff, but our labs are slowly opening up. So a lot of experimentalist students, we are calling students batch by batch. So the most senior PhD students are coming in already. And by September 30th, that batch will be complete. In fact, we had a virtual reality convocation yesterday where everything.
Oh,
Degrees
yes,
were handed in virtual reality. Yeah,
I saw
yeah,
the tweets.
yeah,
I saw the
yeah, yeah, yeah. So then I think by December we should be functional to some extent. We are hoping to have the final exams in person. So let's see how it goes, how it all
Okay.
pans out.
Okay.
And the midterm exams will be proctored. I don't know how they're going to do that through online mode. So we'll see. Yeah. That's
Okay.
the status from IIT. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah. And
They
anybody would
have this
feature in inside, how it's going there? Maria, would you like to speak up for the Canadian end?
Hi everyone, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm calling from Canada, Ottawa, Canada, and yeah, we're doing okay, but yeah, this semester is fully online for all of our teaching, and they're even saying that winter they're not 100% hopeful that we'll be back in person in the winter, mostly because we do have a lot of international students who attend the university, and whether or not they would be able to come, you know, in December, find housing, you know, be able to integrate quickly and join us in January. So we've been told to prepare as if, you know, we'll be fully online. In terms of labs, we've been opened up at about like 50% capacity since about July. And so we have to just have shifts and distancing in the lab, and you know, no one's allowed to, anything that you can do remotely, you must do remotely. So no meetings in person, any like writing papers, interacting with collaborators, any of those things must be done at home. And so I'm at home right now, but anything you must do in the lab, you can do in the lab, as long as there are you know, a maximum number of people in the space and that kind of thing. So we're like 50% normal, I would say.
I hope 50% goes further very soon, and we are able to meet and interact, because it's really dry that we all are experiencing. There has to be some touch and you know,
I
some
agree.
interaction in person, that we all are awake from our respective sides. I hope things are in control and then we get going very soon.
I agree.
Hi, this is Deepanita here.
Yeah,
I'm doing good, thank you. I've been in touch with my host institution, and we keep having meetings regularly. So I have planned my visit in January.
Are you logged in through 2 devices? Because I can see your face.
One second.
Yeah, if you can log out, otherwise there would be, we will experience hope.
Is it okay now? Okay. No, one second. No, one second. One second.
We all are still trying and understanding, you know, how to operate these devices. It's very difficult. When there are important meetings, there's so much of anxiety that we try all bits to be connected and not to be missing out the, you know, the discussion. And in pursuit of that, you know, at times, you know, these difficulties do arise.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Actually, I've scheduled my visit in January, February, and I'm really hoping we can, you know, work out something by then. Well,
yeah, hopefully so.
Yes. I had a little query, if I may ask, Prachi. You know, in other countries like UK, etc., they've begun, you know, the international entry. But after entry, they make 14 days quarantine mandatory. So if the same happens in Canada, when we reach there, would we be supposed to shut in for 14 days?
Yeah, Dr. Srivastava, we will soon come to these questions because I think this must be the concern for all who have to undertake travel. So we will certainly in due course, we will address this issue. And to begin with, yes, there would be if international border opens between these two countries like India and Canada, because right now what the arrangement is only through special flights under Vande Bharat arrangement that this travel is taking place, and we don't see any hope in next 1 month's time for the corridor to open for international, for international globally. So I think we will have to see how things turn in next 1 month's time or 2 months' time. And all these guidelines keep on changing because that all depends on the situation, how it develops, and if a specific geographical region is able to control or curb, and if they have been successful in whatever arrangements they have made for the international travelers when on their arrival. So I guess, things are very, very tentative and very, very ad hoc to predict for future. I mean, future when I say in the next 30 days or 60 days even. So everything is depending on how government sees it, how each and every country is being able to manage internally the situation, and that's all we can say at present. So I think Reshma and Picky, if we have expected participants here, shall we start or we have to wait?
Reshma, you're the best judge. Shall we, or would you like to wait for some more time?
Vicky, I think Reshma is away. She said she'll be away for 5 minutes.
Oh,
Yes, I'm back.
She's here. Yeah, she's here. Just in time. Yeah, sorry, Reshma, I was checking. Would you like to wait for some more time, or shall we begin?
I think we have almost 34 participants. So
Okay, all right. So thank you, Reshma. A very warm welcome all of you on this forum, because we have been receiving, this is a difficult time for all of us. And we have been receiving queries and concerns, and we can surely relate very well to our scholars who have been awarded, but awarded for what, we really don't know. This was an opportunity that is to be cherished and be utilized at the earliest possible, but we are stuck here. And we understand that there are a lot of questions that you have, and we are trying to, come back to you at the earliest possible, and we on our own also, keep on updating you with the developments taking place at both the ends. However, we felt that there was a need to interact in person, and this is the new in person that we are using nowadays. So it was a good proposition from Reshma to have an interaction over this platform. Prime reason was that if each and every individual scholar's query be sorted on one-on-one basis, and so that there's no, ambiguity in response that you receive from our side, and there's more clarity on how to move further for your awards or fellowships or grants that you have been awarded through Shastri Institute. So very warm welcome all of you once again. And Reshma, do you have any plan to go further for this session, or we can we can moderate one by one? If any one of them have a question, they can raise their hands, and Vicky or Reshma can make them speak, make them share their concern, and respective officials from Shastri side can respond to that. Is that something sounds viable, Reshma?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think whosoever will be going first for speaking, the question answers can be taken up accordingly, and the person can just raise their hand and we'll unmute them so that they can speak. While someone is speaking, we would just request everyone to just not a raised hand. I mean, just raise hand, but not speak. So that would be really appreciated. But otherwise, I think we're all good to go on this.
Okay, so to begin with, I think most of the concerns are there in terms of opening up the borders, international borders between India and Canada, and the visa issues and the travel details that they would like to understand. So to begin with, I think I can request my colleague, Ms. Malhotra, Ms. Meenakshi Malhotra, to share some of the details that we have recently received from Canadian High Commission of Canada in India. And these are the travel advisories or travel or guidelines that they have shared with us. So I would suggest, Meenakshi, if you can briefly speak about that, and then probably issues related to, those things. The issues are going to be concerning those aspects when, like the thing that when they can start travel, or how they like to go further for visa, or if they were already had a visa with them, and if it is going to soon expire, how to renew that, or things like that. So over to you, Meenakshi. Please share your information with the scholars now. Thank you.
Thank you.
We can have to keep your video on, because many of you we haven't seen, because we could not even place information for you. So please keep your videos on. At least we can see you, even if it's virtual.
Yeah, thank you, Prachi, and hello everyone. I can brief you about the visa processes first, because those who don't have the visas, I mean, they can apply the visas online, but the High Commission is not granting the visa because all the VSC, that is the VFS offices, are closed in the country, and thereby you won't be able to submit the passport, and the passport won't be stamped. So we are just hoping. Today only I got a tweet that I saw the tweet that it might open in September, the VFS offices. So you might plan to apply for the visas and might be in near future. I mean, you would be able to submit the passports and all that. Secondly, there are certain guidelines on the travel restrictions. There are certain restrictions in the sense that those you should be exempted from the traveler restrictions, and only those going on the essential work. I mean, Reshma must have forwarded you the email which we received from the High Commission. And if you click on the link, you would be able to see the exemptions over there. That is also given at the travel.gc.ca, which states that who all are exempted. I mean, that is, of course, we checked and we are not the one exempted from the travel restrictions. We fall under the category of the restrictions only, because you are being considered as a short-term scholars, short-term students, while the full-time students are being allowed, or any health workers, or any essential services like the agriculture and all that, only they are being allowed to enter. And in case, I mean, even for the essential purposes also, they are being asked to quarantine for 14 days at the cost of the traveler only. Yeah. So yes, we just hope if the things go normal and the VFS offices open up by September, then probably the slowly and steadily the travel might be open. For the scholars coming from Canada, yeah, things are open. I mean, in India, while coming to India, you must prove that you are Indian and you have the OCI. You are also coming for the essential purpose. And then again, 14 days quarantine period is there at the cost of the traveler only. And there are, for travel, there are either the Vande Bharat flights or the air bubble flights. Air bubble flights is the Air Canada flight, which operate in locally and internationally. So that is the air bubble flight. Yeah.
Okay, so she mentioned about in and out movement from India to Canada and Canada to India. Primarily, what comes to my understanding is that scholars like ours, may not be allowed to travel, to travel from India to Canada and Canada to India, because they say if it is an essential services for which you will only be, and even for work permit, only those who are in full-time jobs and so would be allowed to undertake travel. This goes for the scholars who would be going on temporary worker visa, etc. So even though you would be going on worker visa, they will not be probably issuing you visa just because they would like to avoid receiving international, tourists, not per se tourists, but travelers from anywhere in the world, just to the disease, the pandemic. So right now, from our side, the suggestion and the advisory would be to hold on for a while. We all know that there are timelines defined, but we all know that these timelines that we have devised or defined for ourselves are really, we really don't know how we are going to meet them, because things are happening very, very differently. So for now, I think we should be keeping it on hold. Although with our discussions with universities and our partner MyTax, is so that the Canadian universities will start receiving international scholars, international researchers in their respective campuses very soon. And that's why I said that they're gearing up to reopen for the fall semester. And they have assured, because this was in reference to some conversation wherein we were to announce the program called GRA, which is essentially a travel of doctoral or postdoctoral students from India to Canada and Canada to India. And there was an undertaking given by all universities that partner with and this was how it was asserted was that Vice President Research have given, each and every application is going to be forwarded by Vice President Research, which means they are ascertaining and being ready to welcome international researchers in their respective campuses. On the basis of that, we announced this program that this year, and we are certain that in the near future they are going to open up receiving international scholars. Now, this is one perspective. When you go closely and watch it and you get to hear from your associates in Canada, but I understood that federal or provincial government have totally given the responsibility, autonomy to respective institutions in Canada to manage this affair, So they are not intervening, they are not providing any framework of affairs to which you have to, guidelines that these institutions have to follow. So the whole sole responsibility lies with the institutions. That's why they are more careful on how to draw these things. So things are really, really tentative. This is from close sources that I get to know, at the Canadian end. And similarly at the Indian end, it is like we are still not in mood to, or we are still not equipped well to open the campuses also. We are going next semester as virtual semester. That too, I'm thinking about well-placed institutions like NITs, IITs, and Center for Excellences. For most of the universities, I think the situation is a little grim still, and they haven't yet, University Grant Commission has not yet provided any guideline on when they are going to reopen the campus. So it is absolutely no for the India side, but for the Canadian side, they are opening up the campuses. They see international students, but it comes back to the point where international borders are going to be opening soon, and what kind of arrangements are going further to take place, for the international travelers. So right now, even if you plan to, apply for the visa to travel in January or February, whatever time, there may be delay, because as Meenakshi said, VFS offices through which the visa is processed were closed and are closed, may open soon. but there would be tremendous rush because there are many people, thousands and lakhs of people waiting for the visa to get and their families home in Canada. So, I mean, there are all sorts of populace that is there in queue before you are granted visa. So there would be delays. So please be prepared for that. But you can be in touch with Meenakshi and Reshma. They will provide you necessary information as in when they receive from High Commission, respective officials who deals with, our cases, Shastri scholars file. So they will let you know the details as and when they get to hear from them. On this particular point, if we have any query from your side, we would be happy to answer. So if you have any query, you want to speak up, please raise your hand, or you can place this in your chat section so that one of us can moderate and we can answer back.
Prachi, that to being able to enter Canada, one should have the written authorization from the IRCC also. Only then they would be allowed to enter Canada. Yeah.
And what is the IRCC? Not everyone is aware of it.
Yeah, that is the border services, you can say. That we have to, give our information at the email ID that is being provided for the COVID. And we have to register over there. Only then, I mean, once you have the written consent from them, only then you would be allowed to enter Canada. And also there is an app, Can Arrive. I mean, you need to register on that app. Only then you will be permitted to allow.
Yeah,
I think sorry. Go ahead.
And that, as Meenakshi has also mentioned, that upon arrival, there would be a provision of 14 days quarantine. It is there for the travelers to India as well as to Canada. And these expenses are going to be borne by the travelers. Government is not going to make any arrangement. And unfortunately, we will also not be positioned well to, bear this expense for the scholars. So it is going to be really tough. So I would suggest that, and for SMP, for like Dr. Shrivastava, you were asking, if it's a, 3 weeks award for which if you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, it's beats the purpose of this travel. So I would suggest, let's hold it for a while and see how things turn up. And why we will not be able to, take this up, because we had scholars who are already in Canada, and we have paid really hefty amount to bring them back, because when this all started, we suggested that they come back, but they wanted to stay back, complete their work, and we appreciate it. But then now, when their term is over, they wish to come back. Anybody would like to come back to their home. And we had to arrange for their flights and connecting flights, and it has gone beyond the budget that we have stipulated for the respective scholar. So there's a cut, I would be honest with you, everywhere there's a cut being experienced in terms of grants that we receive. So it is going to be really challenge for Shastri Institute to cover all the expenses. You will have to pitch in. We will try to accommodate everything that is possible, but not beyond a limit. So please be a little careful in terms of taking decision while you are planning your travel. Thank you. Vicky, you were saying something?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah, because you were asking if people have any questions. So I think I do see 2 people wanting to ask. One is Mr. Bhaskaran and another is Dr. Purva. She just mentioned something in the chat. So Mr. Bhaskaran, you can go ahead, please.
Yeah. So I'm an SMP awardee, associate professor from IIT Bombay. So I have a question till what will be the last date to avail anything? Let's say, will it be shifted up to the end of like next semester, maybe March or something? Or what's going to happen? Like, because I see that, things are getting postponed indefinitely. So when would be there would be some last date, right? Before we can avail this. Let's say I want to go when everything is stable, right? And would it be possible to travel in January, for instance, or there is a cutoff date? It's just based on the funding and other things that you're just talking about.
Yes. So let me respond
Thank
to that. I have, my office has sent a communication in the very beginning, soon after the grant agreements were signed, and this all started, and we shared that February is the month wherein we see this winding up. Now, we never thought that how things will be turning up. We never imagined that this is going to be far, far ahead, and we will still not be sure being in September, August end this is, and we are still not sure how things will turn up further. So we decided on February for two reasons. One, because as it is financial year end, and by March we have to wind up with Government of India. But this is an exceptional year for Shastri Institute. We operate in terms of in form of MOU with Government of India. So it's a 5-year MOU that we sign, and this current MOU that we are into was signed in 2016 and is going to end by 31st of March 2021. And the administrative and administrative processes are so that by February we have to end everything and keep on building our reporting to Government of India that in this 5 years time what had happened and what all could be achieved and could not be achieved. Now, as I promised earlier, we have made a request to Government of India that this date be extended, because for the obvious reason everyone knows and everyone is sensitive towards, workings and operations of institutions or personnel like us. So we have requested Government of India, Ministry of Education, to extend this date, but we haven't heard from them, and we have a meeting scheduled on this 27th, which is not precisely on this, but there are a couple of issues that we're going to discuss, and one of the issue is this particular issue of extending the date for Shastri, which will eventually allow Shastri to extend the date of undertaking your award for the Shastri, awardees and fellowship holders. So if we have some good news, we would be certainly extending it. I, with all my heart and brain into it, I think it should be done. How Government of India sees it, we are not sure about it.
Okay.
And it's a representation from our side, like all 154 member institution expressed this concern, and in both the meetings that were held for Canadian Member Council, like 40 members met a couple of months back, and similarly all 125 or so members met in India, and they strongly felt the need to have extension to our timeline, and we have expressed this Government of India. See how it turns up, but for now what was shared with you was February, and it is, again, I would say that it's February 2021.
Okay.
I'm hoping that
so best case scenario is Feb 21. Sorry, worst case scenario is Feb 21. Best case scenario 2021, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, that sounds good. Just wanted to know. Thank you so much for your detailed reply. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bhaskaran. Dr. Yadav, I think you were asking for a question to be asked. Would you like to go ahead now?
Thank you, ma'am. I'm Dr. Purva Yadav, JNU. I'm assistant professor here. Ma'am, I'm in SMP awardee. Actually, I missed out the last part that you have said there was some network issue. What is the possible extension for the SMP travel plans that you have proposed?
Yes, so I said that February, as we have already informed our scholars, yes. February 2021 is the deadline. But as I explained that we have requested for an extension to Government of India, like Ministry of Education, and if they extend the timeline for Shastri Institute, which means we would be able to extend the timeline for the scholars. So for now, it is February 2021, but keeping our fingers crossed if Government of India sees our request positively.
Actually, ma'am, I just wanted to share, it's not a question, more of a concern, basically. As you understand, for SMP, it's like there are many of us or awardees who already have an existing, relationship with their host. But then at my personal level, it's more about, my proposal is primarily based on visit-based proposal. So it's more about developing new relationships. So it's expecting too much from, a person whom you have started interacting with, the hope of, going there and meeting and, having a kind of a academic collaboration to, manage everything just because you're not able to visit. So for that part, in my case, is honestly speaking, it's on a hold. So, so initially, I have already communicated even in writing, and I do understand it's a difficult situation. But I was hoping something to be, if it's extendable, maybe somewhere in to June or July, because, ma'am, no one in JNU, they are not going to give us permission for sure, to go out for any kind, even if it's an academic collaboration, and they have agreed to it. But during the working session, they are not going to give us any permission, and even it would be enough. I would also not feel completely comfortable with the idea of leaving the semester and my academic responsibilities here and going for the collaboration or for the visit. So I'm just sharing that what I'm having in my mind, and I thought it would be, because given the uncertain time, I thought it would be a better to give a timeline which to my head sounds more practical. So I thought somewhere June or July, or maybe July and August, because I also know, practically speaking, that is the time. I know even my university will give me permit because that's a vacation time, or the new session is just starting. So my academic responsibilities are not going to be affected by my any of my travel plans. That is one point. And I thought I must inform you this, because there are practical consideration also for extension. And as far as, and another thing that Reshma ma'am has mentioned in her email, and I thought, I think and I'm really grateful that this meeting has been called, because even I was quite two minds about it, how to go about the things, because there are too many other things, and it has work from home, it's like maddening. So it's as far as the proposal, what's been done during the phase, it's more about working on the side, which could be done in India, and basically that's research based, purely research based, but nothing on the collaboration side. I have written to them. I'm yet waiting for the reply. That is one. Another thing I have already mentioned in my email, that Queen's and York University, they were, kind enough to accept my visit there. So even they were quite suggestive. They have even not suggested, any timeline in January or February. They said when things will materialize, when things get normalized. So even I was hoping, I'm just hopeful. WHO has said 2 years. So, but still I'm keeping my fingers crossed of a visit somewhere in July and August if things sort out. So there's my humble request to consider us, because I think I'm not the only one. I think others will join me in this.
Same here.
SMP as a very good opportunity for us, and yes, you all were always kind enough to give us support. So I hope in future.
Same here. Yeah, we are also, we have academic terms in IIT too. So we are also bound by the same thing, that we don't get holidays off for 3 weeks from Jan to May. May to July is the best time to make such visits. So you can count +1 for that request. Yeah, from my side. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for placing that. Yep.
Thank you, Purva, for your opinion here. We all agree completely, and believe you me that we as an institute never want to put on pressure unless it is important, for us to abide by any timeline. We give you freedom to choose your timeline by yourself. But we never imagined that this would be a great fiasco that we are into. So we are, in a way, it is something that we have to keep in mind, that as things turn up, we will have to follow those things and follow the guidelines. If I commit here, it would be a false commitment from my side. I don't want to bring that in at this stage. Unless I hear from Government of India, yes, it is a possibility. I know, these are really internal details that I should not be sharing, but still I would like to, because you are family. We haven't received even a single penny till date from Government of India. So you can imagine the kind of affairs we are dealing with, we are into. So everything is being postponed and things are being taken up as and when on the basis of its urgency and the requirement. So I agree that that is the time that you have said is the ideal time for you to undertake travel to Canada to avail your fellowship, just because you don't want to, be falling apart in terms of your responsibility at your parent institution as well. That's also a commitment that you are into. So we respect that and we really appreciate that gesture of yours and everyone's for that matter. We will keep on pursuing with Government of India. Hope they will be sensitive about it, and in turn, maybe things will turn up good for all of us. Thank you.
I think now, oops, yeah, I'm unmuted. Dr. Srivastav, would you like to go ahead?
Yes, please. As I said, I'm in touch with my host university, Ryerson, and I am in touch with the head of the international division there. She wrote back to me and put me in direct contact with the HR division of their university. And they too wrote back to me saying they were looking into the modalities of permission, which was the responsibility of the university. As you said, it is up to the institutions to decide actually. So I think at the university level, they are also looking into the matter. So what I wanted to know, at the moment, we have a segregation with, essential and non-essential, and we perhaps, obviously, we don't fall in the essential category. Let's say when the international travel starts and we are allowed to travel, but there is still a quarantine period, admissible for everyone. In that case, would the institute be funding for that period as well or
not? No, because I said that this is a kind of a stipulated budget for awardees that we have, and this is last year's budget, so we have no control over it. We cannot reappropriate or re-devise budget for individual awardees. So in addition to, your stipend and other allowances that you are eligible for and governed by the grant agreement that you have had signed with Shastri Institute, over and above that, if there is going to be cost escalated towards your travel, which is like your airfare and all, that is a permissible, or that would be something that we would be able to entertain and undertake. Not beyond that, because it would be very, very difficult for the institute. We have great number of students and researchers who would be undertaking research awards, and if we pick up that tap, then it would be becomes really, really difficult for us. So you may on your own, if you are going for, your award is for 3 weeks,
yes.
But if you plan to add on, 14 more days to that, and if you're able to meet expenses by yourself or within the stipend that Shastri is going to give, you're more than welcome to undertake that. But we are able to, facilitate in terms of extending the funds for your additional 14 days stay, which is compulsory quarantine for you. Yeah.
So in any case, Shastri would be funding only for 3 weeks, this way or that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And in case, because this proposal came from my hosts, they said, you come over, we have limited interaction on campus. So even if it's a quarantine period, you can be in Toronto and still carry on your work online, stay for 3 weeks, and after the 14-day quarantine, for the remaining 1 week, you can come to the campus and do your work. Is that possible?
Well, if if it is so that you can finish that work that you would be virtually by being there in Toronto,
Yes.
it is assumed that that can also be done here. So I'm not sure if that makes any sense or not. It is for you to decide and your host institution to decide. I completely give you leeway here to devise your own plan. How active institution is to make arrangements. It's just up to you, Dr. Srivastava. But Shastri, beyond that period, Shastri will not be able to support your stay there.
Yeah, so 3 weeks is what Shastri supports, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Srivastava. Dr. Kaul. The next in line is Anirudh. So Anirudh, you can go ahead now.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. You can switch off your video just in case
Okay.
you think that it's getting
Okay.
interrupted.
My network is very shaky, so I'll turn off my video. Is that okay?
Yeah. Please do that. No problem.
So thank you very much, Shastri Institute, for calling on this meeting. Thank you, Resma ma'am, for considering our request. So I'll be speaking my issues as well as issues that we have been discussing in our SRSF group. So I'll be putting up 3-4 queries that we have been grappling with. So the first thing that I'd like to raise here is related to the time frame that we have been allotted. So in one of the previous mail that we have received, we have been asked to plan our visit and everything related to the award so that we can finish it up by March 2021. But considering the unprecedentedness of the current crisis, we are not very, things are very uncertain now. So, we are thinking that is it possible or is it feasible on part of the institute to actually give us a leverage to extend that March term end by another couple of months or 3-4 months, considering the development that is happening in the next couple of months. This is the first thing. Second thing, we also got another mail a couple of months back. It was related to sharing a plan of action. So after considering considering suggestions from our host institution and our supervisor there, so I guess all of us shared our plan of action, and we have been working on that remotely in whatever way is possible. So we are thinking that since we have been working remotely on that project in whatever way possible, so can our fellowship be started officially while we are working from India? Because there are certain things that we have been able to do being here in India, and there are certain things that we will do once we are there in Canada. This is the second thing. Then the third thing is related to visa. Like Prachi ma'am rightly said that once the VFS VAC centers are opening up, there will be utter chaos. There will be thousands of visa applications and all. So in that case, if and when it is happening, can we as Shastri fellows, scholars have some sort of fast tracking mechanism which the embassy or the High Commission will offer us, considering the urgency that we need to go there and need to finish up our work there. Then the last thing, it is related to, are there any important permissions or undertakings that we need to consider and have in our hand as students? Because all of us are doctoral students doing their PhDs in different institutes and universities in India. So are there anything that we need to be super serious about, hypersensitive about, to make arrangements for that? Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to respond to this, or I can? I mean, would you like to cover part of the questions or queries that he has, or I can take up?
You can.
Okay. So. Okay, there were primarily three questions. First was again on the timeline, extension of timeline for the doctoral scholars and scholars who are under SRSF category. As I said previously, that we are trying hard and we will hope, and there's always, in worst case scenario, we can request them that allow the scholars to begin their fellowship by February, because while SMP and other short-term awardees are there for only 3 weeks to 3 months, there are scholars who would be there for 6 months time, those who need to be there for 6 months time, like doctoral ones. So in the worst case scenario, we can request Government of India, if they're not agreeing to extend the timeline, we can suggest that let them start their fellowship by February, so that automatically you will get 6 more months to complete it. Not sure, again, this is very, very ad hoc, that what I'm suggesting here. But I would say that we are trying our best and hope we will have positive, feedback or positive response from Ministry of Education. The other thing that you have talked about, visa and other details, the processing of your application, which is done by VFS and then goes to the consulate general, respective consulate general for the visa issuance. There's a limit to our intervention there. We can intervene, but then there's a limit to it. And in these unprecedented times, when there is going to be enormous rush in terms of issuance of visa, or parallelly other things also happening, Canada is a country wherein they have a lot of Indians traveling, so their workload is already very high, and now after reopening of things, I think it is going to be really, really challenging for them to undertake each and every case in a timely manner. We always intervene in terms of assisting and facilitating the process, but because it's their prerogative, we would not like to intervene unnaturally, which means that there's a limit that we have set for ourselves. They respect our intervention, but we should also be respecting that they have their own ways to operate, and we should not be intervening in the processes. So keeping in mind whatever the limitations we have set for ourselves, we will try our best to facilitate the process. But again, it's difficult time, so no commitment from our side or from their side that I can see coming in. Third point was, if you can start your fellowship here, I would say that this is something that we have never done that. Of course, we have requested our scholars to utilize the time that they were confined to their homes and there were not much happening in terms of their research and academics. So when you were home, we thought that it would be good if you can start doing your research, which under the fellowship that you have proposed to the institute. Now, when you say that you'd like to start your fellowship, yes, we have facilitated to a couple of scholars. If it requires you to begin with some technical support, of course, if you say that you are starting your fellowship and there was a stipulated, amount towards that, it doesn't mean that because most of it was towards your living allowance in Canada, if you're talking about the Indian students, so which we will not be dispersing, but the expenses that are integral to your research, if it is like having a subscription of online platform, or being member of a particular virtual lab that a Canadian host have, or being a member of a particular library through or archive from there you would like to access information. If those kind of arrangements need to be done, for which you need to pay some amount, I would suggest that you can do that. And we have started facilitating that way to our scholars. So yes, please bring out, refurbish this information to Shastri, send your details. How would you like to proceed further? Share your details with Ms. Reshma Rana Verma, the program officer concerned, and also share with her what kind of support you would want Shastri to extend in terms of your beginning the fellowship. You know, there are a couple of organizations like MyTax allows 25% of the fellowship to be, you know, of the award, tenure of the award to be from their host institution and host from the parent country. So like if it's a 6 months award, 1 month can be done or 20 days can be done from your home country as well. And that is counted for your stipend as well. But in this case, it's not going, and we again, it's just really all tentative. So we are not sure when you are going to start your fellowship, you know, undertake your award. So keeping that in mind, if there are any technical details, if there are any technical support that you want to have towards beginning your research, or you have already began it and there are some facilities required, get in touch with Reshma and she will respond back, I would say appropriately, keeping in mind the category of that you are in. I hope I have not missed any component of your question. If so, please let me know. Thank you.
No, ma'am, you gave a proper detailed answer. That was quite helpful. Thank you so much.
Actually, I would like to add here that if he is planning to visit in near future, I mean the High Commission is accepting the applications online, although the visa submission process is on hold, but the applications can be submitted online. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anirudh. Thank you, Dr. Kaur. I think the next one in the line is Ms. Bhupinder Kaur. You can go ahead, please. Ms. Bhupinder Kaur, are you there? You have to unmute yourself, Ms. Kaur. So I guess I'll just move to the next person. That should be Mr. Maziar. I think he's already got the answer. So, okay. Miss Juna, are you there? Can you please unmute yourself and say your question?
Yes. Hello everyone.
Hi.
I had a question regarding the timeline and it is already answered. So, okay.
You're good? Okay. Okay. Thank you. I don't see anybody else lined up, but maybe Ms. Kaur can try again. And if anybody else has further questions, please come forward.
Ma'am, this quarantine 14 days is hello. This 14-day quarantine will be included in that. I am SRSF awardee, so this 14-day quarantine period will be included in this 17 week, or we have to exclude that 14 days of quarantine.
Okay, Pritichi, I already said that Shastri will support you for the degree for which you were awarded for. You know, the grant was awarded for. So if it was 17 weeks in total, you will be your award would be considered for 17 weeks only. It is up to you to make those 14 days part of the 17 weeks, or if you wish to extend it further, like you would like to start your fellowship after, it's just a natural flow from one phase to another phase. So you be there, you have arrived and you have gone for 14 days and then you start your work. It all depends on you, as I said earlier, how you deal with it. Shastri is only concerned and would only be positioned to, grant you the award for the stipulated time for which you were awarded. So it's like if 17 weeks you were awarded the grant, we will only be giving you 17 weeks award, not beyond that. You may like to bring in 14 more days to it. You may like to extend your stay there. If you think that 17 weeks minus 14 days will not be enough for you to conduct your research or complete your research, so you can extend it for next 14 days. There are scholars who extend it for months as well, when in normal times as well. So right now we have a scholar in Canada who was gone for 6 months, and because he could not complete the whole work, I mean, he was gone at the time when this pandemic started. So everything was closed down. So there was a limitation to his achieving the goals or objectives that he set for the research. So now he is extending his stay for a couple of more months. So it's absolutely up to the scholars to understand whether they would be able to finish their work in the stipulated time of the award or not. And if you are willing to extend it further, you can do that. But Shastri Institute will not be able to undertake any financial liability towards that.
And then if somebody is extending his stay, then the return journey will be granted as per it is granted. I mean, if
yes.
anybody.
Yeah, if I understand your question, you mean to say that if there's a revision in your travel date, supposedly you were planned to come back 30th of August and you want to extend it further, and you want to now reschedule it for 15th of September as a return date. Yes, you can do that, but as I said, we will not be able to take the financial liability towards that, because change of ticket would imply some change in fare and difference of fare as well. Cancellation and other details would imply there. So you will have to bear that tab for yourself. You know, we don't mind you extending it. We can facilitate also. We can also issue a letter, and you will have to ensure that there is funding available for you to present to Government of Canada by saying that you have funds to support yourself for this extended period of time. So that liability goes to you only. We will not be able to take that up for you. But we write a nice letter saying that the scholar is there and she's a bona fide scholar of Shastri and being affiliated, and that would also be supported by your affiliate there. So there was never an issue around this idea. So you can extend your travel. You can, at the very beginning also, you can extend it, instead of being there for 17 weeks, you can, to begin with, you can plan to be there for 19 weeks. We don't mind that. If it doesn't imply in terms of your visa, if it is visa for a particular time, for the category of award that you are granted, and if you extend 2 more weeks, if it goes into different category, then it is a different, altogether different case. Otherwise, we don't mind you extending your time there in Canada, because we understand every scholar have different kind of, requirements, and accordingly they fit in their schedule. Is that answers, Pichi?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Pratichi. Akanksha, you can go ahead. I think you have a question again.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, right now I am in France on long stay visa, and my return is on 30th September. So my query is that, can I apply for Canadian visa from France only? So if possible, I can start my journey from France only. So means I can go from France to Canada directly, if it is possible. And my second query is, which type of visa I need to apply? I'm a SRSF awardee for 6 months. So which visa I need to apply? Temporary residence visa or temporary worker visa? I have these 2 questions.
Okay, so I think you can very well apply for Canadian visa being in France. There is a possibility for that, and you can start your journey from France to Canada. I mean, whichever reason you would like to be in Canada. So that is one. So yes, there is a possibility for what you are proposing. Straight away from France, you can go to Canada to undertake your fellowship. For the category of visa, I suggest Meenakshi is the best person. I think you would need to go for work permit, but details can be shared or can be given by Meenakshi. Meenakshi, you write to Meenakshi, and Meenakshi, for the larger group, if you can say, you can tell us what kind of visa she would require.
Akanksha has written to me, and I had responded to that she need to apply for the temporary worker visa. But at this period of time, I think when you are saying that you are due to come back on 30th September, so it's only a month left. And I don't know, there would be the same situation for visa. I mean, from France also, there would be some delays. So I don't think that you can go from France to Canada while applying for a temporary worker visa itself is a cumbersome process. It's a lengthy process. It's a two-way process because your affiliate also need to register you on the employment portal. And once you get the LMIA exemption number, only then you can apply for the visa. So I think it would not be justifiable to apply from France. So better you come back and apply from here, or you apply online. You start your process from there and then you come back and then you apply.
I have one more question that for worker visa, I need to go for medical test. I think you have said send this mail before.
Yeah. You are required. Everyone, whosoever is applying for the worker visa, they would be. Prachi, I also want to know for my own understanding that those the doctoral scholars whosoever are going and are being granted visa for 6 months only, because there is a tap on 180 days worker visa. So will the quarantine period be covered within that visa period or beyond? I mean, because they would not be having the visa for the larger duration. So how to go about that?
Yeah, you are the best person to say. You are an expert. I consider you as an expert. So you have to explore with High Commission on this, whether these 14 days would be included within the visa that is being issued within 6 months' time, because the whole dynamics changes if it is beyond 180 days. So get your facts collected and get your facts and right, and then share the right details, correct information with our scholars, I would say.
Sure. If it is going to be, I mean, the fixed time duration, that is 180 days, then would we be, covering the cost of that 14 days quarantine period as the this fellowship cost or not? I mean,
if it is in total,
yeah.
If it is total 6 months, of course, it would be that they would be getting for 6 months time, for sure. So if it is beyond, then they will not be getting the stipend for living allowance for more than 6 months time, whatever the stipulated time is for a scholar.
Mr. Joseph, you can go ahead now. Mr. Joseph, are you there? Okay, Mr. Arijit Sharma, you were asking for some questions. Please go ahead.
Yes. Am I audible, madam?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Madam, I just had two questions. So right now, because of the pandemic, this is a very volatile situation. And as Dr. Purvi also mentioned that, it would be difficult to leave our teaching responsibilities in the middle and, go for a visit. So ideally, the best situation would have been the summer vacation. But right now, I don't see it happening anytime soon. So in the worst case scenario, let's say the government gives us an extension that we can go in June or July in the coming year. Okay. And in the event that we need to take a quarantine, even in that scenario, so what is when we apply for the visa, what is the duration we should ask for? Should we ask only for the 21 days or should we ask including the quarantine, if the quarantine is to be ensured?
Thank you, Dr. Sharma. This is too soon to respond on. I would say that if you are allowed and if, Government of India permits us to extend the timeline beyond March 31st and it goes further till June, July, when you wish to undertake your award, I would say that it still is a time and things we really not sure at this point of time, as you rightly said. So we will have to wait and watch how things turn out for us. So
right.
I fear if I can respond to that correctly at this stage. We will
Sure,
have to
sure.
see how situation
I
goes.
understand.
And accordingly, you know, we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
And accordingly, you know, Government of Canada will also be granting and permitting entry accordingly. So all rules are undergoing changes every 15 days, every month, every week. Sometimes, you know, we see changes in their guidelines. So we just have to, it's a really, really tough time for us. So we will have to just see how it's evolve over the period of time, and then we can take a decision accordingly.
Okay, okay. And one more thing, what I wanted to understand is what is the category of visa that normally Shastri Mobility Program fellows are eligible for?
Meenakshi.
That is the visitor visa, temporary resident visa.
Okay, madam. Temporary residence visa. That is the category we should apply for.
Also,
okay.
Yeah. Also,
Okay.
you can ask your affiliate to provide you with the letter stating that you fall under the Global Skills Strategy Program. That would fasten the program. So you would have to apply for the visitor visa only for that also.
Okay. So this is a separate category, madam. This global skills residence.
Separate category under the visitor visa. I mean, that was fasten the process of the visa. I mean.
Okay. Okay. Okay, madam.
Told
Okay.
you that you are coming for the research work.
Okay. Okay. Okay, madam. Thank you. Thank you so much, madam. Thank you.
But having said that, this is something that is prevailing right now, or till date we have experienced this. There might be changes. So before you had start to process your visa, submit your application to VFS, to everyone I would suggest that please do not go ahead before consulting Meenakshi. So write to her, speak to her, bug her at your best to get most of the information by your side before you submit your application. So yeah, I would suggest that. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sharma. Mr. Paramveer Singh, you can go ahead, please. Are you there?
Yeah. Hello, ma'am.
Hi. Yes, please.
Yeah. I have a query. Like I had applied for visa and my visa got expired on August 25th. So is it good to apply for visa again before expiring my visa, or I have to wait until the situation will normal?
I think, shall I?
Yes, please, Meenakshi. Yeah.
I think, Parami, you should wait until the things go normal. Just give it some time, because they are saying that the VFS offices are going to open in September. If it opens, then probably we can think of. Otherwise, just wait. Otherwise, there might be some lapse period also, that again your visa might get expired. So it's better to wait. And another is when you are planning to travel, that also depends on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, unless we are firm with the dates, I think we should not be going again for the visa issuance, because there is uncertainty prevailing, and until we are sure about our trial dates, I don't think we should be approaching for visa. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Mr. Joseph, you're back, I guess. Do you want to ask your question now? And please unmute yourself.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so this is my query is about the grant agreement. So I had received the online copy of the grant agreement, but I had not received the hard copy by post. So I had contacted Reshma ma'am about that. So I think from Shastri Institute has sent me, I think they have tried 2 or 3 times, but I am still yet to receive the agreement. So right now I am at my home since the institute was closed. So I am not sure if there was so I'd like to know about that, or should I again I mean, do something from my part?
Okay, so Joseph, if I get your voice was little breaking in between, what I could gather was that you checking on the paper copy of your grant agreement that you have not received till date. I would suggest this can only be answered by Reshma. Reshma, would you like to respond?
Yeah, it was sent last Friday. Maybe you will be receiving it soon.
Okay.
It was on hold because the person who picks up courier, he was saying that he doesn't have any service in your area, so it was hold. But we have
Okay. So I'd like to know one more thing. So this is to the home address, right? Not because right now I'm my hometown.
I have
Sorry,
to check the address. I have sent it.
Is it clear to you, Mr. Joseph?
No. I didn't hear the last part. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Reshma, you can maybe repeat.
I'm sending the address where it has been posted, and we'll let you know.
Hello.
So let me. I think what she means to say that she is going to check with the dispatch section with the officials, and she will follow up on the delivery of the grant agreement that was sent by her last week. But if there is any confusion, if there was any, if it is stuck somewhere, then she can resend it. And I suggest that you provide her residential address wherever you are staying so that it goes there this time. Is that clear?
Okay. Yeah, that's clear. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, great, Joseph. Ms. Shivani Sharma, would you like to ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah, hi.
Yes. Hello, ma'am. I'm a doctoral scholar here at IIT Gandhinagar and SRSF awardee. So these questions are in continuation with Anirudh's questions, and he has already addressed most of it very kindly. But I wanted to know about that when we can expect our orientation for SRSF awardees, because so far it has not happened, and just wanted to know regarding that. And also about the category of the visa for the SRSF students that they're going to apply for, whether it's going to be work visa or student, or what category we need to apply for 6 months. And there is another question which I wanted to ask regarding when we can expect our official SRSF to be started. Should we count from September? For example, in my grant agreement, I had mentioned from September to March. But since everything is in a flux, so in terms of that 6 months period, like when we can expect that can be officially started. So these are the 3 questions which I wanted to ask now.
So the orientation, we would so much love to have you with us and convene this 1.5 day orientation. Unfortunately, pandemic has stopped everything. And as you know, we have restrictions in terms of gathering. Of course, for mandatory things, for necessary things like weddings and some other rituals we can meet, but this is considered as not so necessary gathering. So unfortunately, Shivani, I have no answer to this question of yours or this query of yours. We would have so much love to meet all of you in person. As a ritual, we meet everyone. That's the connection that we build up for future. And this year, because of these reasons, we are not being able to meet. And given the situation and the turning of events, it looks like it is not going to be a possibility to meet all of you in terms of orientation. But we have an arrangement by which, whenever there's a next batch of scholars who are awarded and we bring them for the orientation, we also invite the scholars from our last batch, and which is used as a dissemination platform for their research. So we call it orientation and dissemination session. And I'm sure by then, when we are ready with the next batch of scholars to avail to take up the award, you all would have completed your work, and we will invite you to be part of that event in Delhi, and we would love to meet up. So keeping our fingers crossed that the day will come soon on that matter. On other query of yours on kind of visa and when can you start, it says for all logistical and legal matters that we need you to place your date of travel in the grant agreement. Of course, your travel dates are different to what you have stated in your grant agreement most of the time. It's only exceptional cases wherein we have seen that scholars have said that, okay, this is the fine day, I'm going to undertake my award and travel, and he or she sticks to that. So there's always a change in travel, and which is all permissible from our side. But in your grant agreement, whatever is stated is just for legal purposes. So it has no bearing on your actual date. So you can start from any date. That is no matter of concern for us from our side. So, and category of visa, again, if you're going as a doctoral scholar, so you have to apply for work permit. Meenakshi, you can add on to it.
Yeah, you can apply for the work permit, and that's a two-way process. That first your affiliate need to register you on the CIC employment portal, and then you can apply for the work permit. I'll be writing to all the detailed process on the work permit for the applying for the doctoral and the postdoctoral fellowships. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea, like you do, Meenakshi, for all the awardees. I mean, just draft a mail with all the details, which category of visa is required for which category of awardees, and what are the prerequisites or what are the documents that are needed, so that they can go over it and they can see if they need to do something towards acquiring those documents and keep these things ready for the time when they will have to actually apply for the visa. So sooner the better. Why not we send out this information and share with all of them so that they...
Though I have already written to the past awardees, but sure, definitely to the newer ones also I'll forward it. Yeah.
Thank you, Meenakshi.
I have a little question, Sharma. Can I?
Sure, go ahead.
We were supposed to do a research project. I'm an SMP awardee. So we were supposed to carry out a research project at our host universities, right? Now, under the given circumstances, like as going by my topic of research, let's say we have not been able to go to Canada finally, but online I managed to do a part of my research project, and I do come up with substantial work. What is the validity of that work done online? Does Shastri validate it that some work was done under the project? So how do we go about it?
Very good question, Dr. Srivastava. This is something that we have been contemplating, and we have much discussed about this fact that how much validity can be given to the virtual produce of a research. And especially for the projects which requires you to be, when the proposal was submitted to Shastri for a grant, and it has an integral component by which you were to be in the campus and you were to be addressing to students or mingling with the group, or it was interview based. I mean, whatever the nature of the research work you have, mentioned in your proposal, and based on that, the relevant committee has approved and recommended your name for the award. Now, if you see I don't know if you have seen the last announcement of the Shastri Institute, yes. Which very clearly states that we validate the work. And this is, of course, for the new program that we have announced. So each and every award that is, most of the programs that we have announced this year have a component by which we mean that it's only and only virtual platform that you are going to use for the research that you are proposing. So you have to propose accordingly the research that can only be undertaken virtually, because there is not going to be a component of travel or of mobility to the other country. So we have been very specific in this round of programs. But for all of you who have been awarded last year, wherein, as I said, that your proposals were evaluated, keeping in mind the actual programming structure, and which has integral component on mobility, and mobility was integral part of your research to carry out effectively. Now, as I said that earlier also, when this whole thing started, our office communicated, Reshma wrote to all of you saying that what is your action, what action you are going to undertake in terms of starting your research. And if you propose so, I suggest that if there is a change in your research to what you have submitted to us for award, please do share with us what is the change that you are bringing in terms of your inability to take up this travel to Canada. So there would be naturally some changes in your research that you will be experiencing, or you would be modifying the whole project. If that project is being modified by you, it should be in consultation with your affiliate, of course, in the affiliating institution. And then we resubmit it to Shastri Institute. We are not going to evaluate. You are an awardee and you will always be an awardee. But validity of the research that you have asked would be probably ascertained by the committee that has awarded you. So once we have received the revised proposal, that how you would like to undertake your research in a modified manner, we will take it and send it again to the committee that have recommended your name for the award. And they will ascertain, because I am no subject expert here, so they will ascertain whether this modified version of your research is viable and can be validated under this award or not. So this is for everyone. If you want to cut off the whole mobility part and you just want to, the very fact, that each and every award that is granted by institutions like Shastri or Ford or Fulbright have some repute attached to it, so it builds up your CV greatly. So if you want still to undertake this award, you can do that, leaving the mobility part behind. But again, as I said, that you have to resubmit your application, not whole application, the whole proposal, the modified version, leaving the mobility part, and we will take it back to the adjudication committee members, those who have evaluated the earlier version of yours, your proposal. So then we can come back to you if they are in agreement that this research can be, done by the scholars in proposed manner. So this is how we are going to do it. Ascertain the validity, Dr. Srivastava.
Okay, so we kind of wait to prepare our revised proposal till end of December or something, till we really know now we can't go. So
well, we can make a decision now as well. If you really want to leave this away and you want to revisit the whole proposition that you have made earlier, if you want to, initially we have heard from a couple of scholars that they would like to actually convert the whole proposal in a manner that it will be doable virtually. So if you take a decision even now, I am fine with that arrangement. So it is up to you to decide. And once you have made a decision, just let us know.
In that case also, let's say we propose something and we are altering the proposal. So the new work that we do, after completion, we submit a similar report to the Shastri, just like what we'd have done had we gone to Canada.
Yeah,
that's
all
going
the
to be the same.
processes would remain same. If you have some, we will consider, it's a proposal that is coming from your side. We will forget about the earlier proposal and we will start considering the next one as your current proposal or the proposal that is being undertaken by you. And all the processes that we will follow will be followed as according to the norms of Shastri award and grants.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kaur. Miss Laura, you can go ahead now. I know you've been waiting for quite some time. So, Miss
Yeah,
Laura, hi.
Yeah, I'm there. Hello everyone. Hello, Dr. Prachi and team. Nice to meet you virtually. I just have a query because I have a multiple entry visa till 2024. Would that be good if and when we are able to travel? I'm SMP for SMP.
Nakshi, would you like to respond?
Yeah. Yes, you can travel. It's just that you need to check with your affiliate if they have any restrictions on that. Yeah.
So
thank you on that.
For Canadians to come down to India, we are very particular. Meenakshi, I suggest that you look into this carefully because also depends on the category of visa at the entry and the work that you are doing. So a scholar who's traveling on a tourist visa is not allowed to undertake any academic or research pursuit. So if you are here as a tourist, and if you wish to club some academic engagement, that is not a possibility for the Canadians, and it is considered illegal. You can be deported as well. I mean, these are extreme cases, but there have been cases, so I'm sharing this with you, that if you're coming from Canada to India, you have to come on a particular category of visa only. If you are seen being arrived as tourist, and then you are lecturing or giving a talk or offering a seminar or being part of any research, if you're found by that foreign regional registration office, wherein you will be going to register yourself, and if they identify that you will be trouble and Shastri will be in trouble too. So I suggest that go for the appropriate category of visa. Meenakshi, ascertain this norm for the Indians as well going to Canada. I think there would be some rules pertaining this clause.
Yes,
so
there are certain categories under the visitor visa, but you should have the multi-visitor business visa, not the tourist visa, because under the visitor visa only, there are certain categories like student, business, visitor. So it's better you have the business visa. Yeah, only then.
I have the visitor business.
Yeah, that too, just get it checked with your affiliate that they should not have any problem with that.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
And I think we can take one more question. Satyam, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I firstly really appreciate this whole session because I think there are a lot of questions that are starting with an if, and I can only imagine kind of like how the situation on the other side of table when you have to address those questions. So firstly, really appreciate it. I had one question on visa issue for 3-month SRSF category, but I'm going to wait for Meenakshi ma'am's mail on that. My second question was actually about the fact that a lot of the 3-month scholars have kind of returned home for a while and they're pursuing these projects from home. Some of us have been able to generate some meaningful result, but there is some resource constraint, unfortunately. So my first question is actually that can we convert a part of our grant to some resource that will help us to generate those tangible results? Second one is if this is not possible or if there's certain problems, can we kind of remorph our proposal to convert that to something that is virtual, is adaptable with current circumstances and can be pursued virtually, and use the grant that we get for the resources that will help us achieve those goals that we mentioned in the virtual proposal? Thanks.
Thank you, Satyam. Two components to your question. First is whether the resources can be used to technically support your research that you have proposed. It is a possibility. All depends on what kind of technical support that you would like to build up to convene your research or to produce the research that you have proposed under this fellowship. So let us know. We are open to the idea. To what extent, like if it is, we have a clause by Government of India rules, which does not allow us to allow our scholars to spend a lot of money on buying of conduit and any hardware or so, or machinery for that matter. However, keeping in mind the unprecedented times we are in, we can look into your request and see if that move can help you, conduct your research being in India only. So yes, we are open to this idea, Satyam. So send in your propositions, share with us how would you like to go about it, and what is the stuff or what is the technical gadgets or equipments that you want to convene this research. So this is one part. And as I responded to earlier scholar, to Dr. Srivastava, that we are still fine with the idea of you altering your proposal and making us see it and review it again by the people who have evaluated it. And this should be done in consultation with your proposed affiliate, of course. And if he or she agrees, you can revise, mend your proposal and send it back to us for consideration, and we will come back and revert to you on that.
Wonderful. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Dr. Kaul, this brings us to the closure of the session. But before we do that, I think there's just one question flashing in my chat box. I think, Arja, you are asking for a group of SRSF awardees, if they have a WhatsApp group or an email group. Could you please, come online and clarify so that Meenakshi or Reshma can take that up with you?
Yeah, I just heard, I think Anirudh mentioning that there's a group of SRSF scholars. So I was wondering if it's an email group or a WhatsApp group. So yeah, I was just wondering if I could join.
May I come in?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
So the thing is, this is not an official group. Actually, we collected numbers over Facebook, and we are 6 of us actually who are part of that WhatsApp group. So there is no Reshma ma'am or Meenakshi ma'am. So it would be great if there is an existing official group where Reshma ma'am or Meenakshi ma'am are sharing the essential details and important information. That would be great. We all can join there.
I think there's already a group by Reshma ma'am, if my memory serves me right. There's a WhatsApp group that's there.
Then we would like to join that for sure.
Reshma, would you like to?
Who was speaking? I couldn't ascertain actually from the voice.
Is there a group WhatsApp?
Yeah, there was a WhatsApp group actually, and that was created at one point of time. But then though we don't see any recent developments in that group, but if you want us to add, I mean, there will be 2 followers in that, then probably the old ones need to be, out, and then we can add the newer ones.
Then the best possible way.
The group, and I will add to it.
Yeah, if I can add to it, I think it is going to be good if old and new ones gel together.
One group was operated from the old group. This is not working.
Yeah, you may reactivate that group, and it is going to be beneficial for the current scholars because they can interact with the previous awardees as well. There would be questions and that can be answered by them very well over us. So I think Reshma, you can reactivate that group, and
I have another group from the office created, so I can add on that other people whosoever want to get them added.
Well, I leave up to you to decide on which group it is. You know the best. So yeah, go ahead with that.
The office number now, so I will add everybody on this number.
Okay. Okay.
So I was just checking the chat box. I don't see any more questions or queries coming in. Or I think I have covered all of them. If I have missed out anyone, you can please come in. So I think we don't have any more questions, Dr. Kaul. Reshma, would you like to say something before we say bye? Meenakshi, anything from your side, Dr. Kaul, yourself? Anju?
I think she wanted to ask some question.
Sorry, who would that be? I think I missed.
Your voice is cutting, Reshma. Can you say that again, please?
Dr. Kaur wanted to ask some question. Where is she now? She was asking some question, but somehow. Yes.
Ma'am, earlier I was not audible, Prachi ma'am, so sorry about timeline for SRFS for 3 months.
I'm sorry, Hardeep, I couldn't get you properly. Can you say that again?
Earlier I was not audible but I was know about the timeline for SRFS student category 3 months.
Yeah, so your question is like,
Sorry?
Your question is that, what is the timeline for avail SRSF? Yeah, well, this is the same, the response is same for everyone for that matter, Hardeep. We are just looking forward for the situation to settle down in terms of this ongoing pandemic. Right now, we have set the deadline as February 2021 by when you have to undertake the award. But as I said earlier, we have requested our funding agency to give us some relaxation. And if that happens, we will certainly let you know about it.
Thank you.
Great. Well, no more questions, but thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Any last words from any of our CQ officials? Dr. Kaul?
Well, thank you so much. I hope we attempted to answer your concerns, and of course, there's a lot of anxiety in everybody's mind, and we're trying to, do our best to beat it. And in terms of this award, I can assure you we will cooperate as much as possible from our side, keeping our challenge in mind, how best we can accommodate your queries and concerns. We will do our best. And we equally, feel that as a responsible scholar, any move of yours should be in consideration with the guidelines that Shastra or the government of India or Canada are sharing with you. So keep those things in mind before making any decision, because that would be wise move, I think. And I think we just pray to God that things go fine very soon for all of us, and we are able to resume to our normalcy, which seems a little difficult at this time, but let's hope for the best. So all the very best. And we are available on email, on phone, so you can always call back, and you can write back to us, and we promise to come back at the earliest possible. So good luck to all of you. Thank you so much for being present today. Thank you.
And just before we do the last cut, one small thing for all the scholars, because I have to, say about this. You're more than welcome to follow all our CKI's, social media channels, whether that's Facebook, whether that's Twitter or YouTube, LinkedIn. So for Facebook and Twitter, it's actually the same handler, which is official CKI. So please don't forget to, follow on that, because for the most part of it, we put all our updates on these two channels most of the time. For the videos and all, you can always, go to YouTube channel. So that was something that I wanted to, ended this, talk with. But
Yeah.
thanks everyone. Yes, Dr. Kaul, please.
Just to add, yes, my Twitter handle is Kaul_Prachi. So you can also follow me if you wish to understand what is happening on this corridor between India and Canada. Along with that, I would like to mention that any work that you are doing that needs promotion, because you are a bona fide scholar of Shastri Institute. So any good work that you are producing, any intervention that you are bringing in, I would like to promote that. And we have our newsletters that it's a bi-month, not bi-monthly, it's
bi-monthly. Yeah, it's bi-monthly. Yeah.
Which you can refer to, and I suggest that you send in your entries, send in your information that can go into it. We also have our annual report every year coming up. So once you have undertaken your award, keep in mind that this is a platform wherein the dissemination can happen greatly. This report is being served to India and Canada, to the relevant people, not just bureaucrats, but also to the academic and research fraternity greatly, and being referred by. So anything that goes into it becomes have a greater opportunity for dissemination. So I suggest this for the greater good of your work that you are doing. We make you use this platform. Please do send in your research that you have or any contribution that you have done on this, on your area, in the area of your expertise. So we will be more than welcome to have more entries from all of your side. With this, let's close this, and I wish you all the very best.
Thank you, madam.
All the best, everyone. Please take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.